let's talk about something every couple knows is important, but almost no one says out loud: the grand finale. That split second when everything has built to the edge. Every breath is sharper, every muscle is tense, and for him, the fireworks finally explode. Now, you might think, well, that just happens wherever we happen to be at the time. But here's the truth. For most men, there's more to it than that. There's a fantasy spot, a place where the ending feels more powerful, more exciting, maybe even more personal. And yes, sometimes he'll tell you, but often it's something he secretly imagines and hopes you'll one day just do. Why does this matter? Because when you discover his favorite, you're not just part of the moment, you're creating his perfect ending. You're turning something he enjoys into something he remembers. And that memory, that's the stuff that keeps him thinking about you days, weeks, even months later. This is where intimacy stops being just about physical release and becomes about the emotional charge behind it. It's about how it looks, how it feels, and what it means in that connection between you. And once you know where he loves to finish, you can choose to surprise him with it, tease him with it, or make it your shared signature. So today we're diving into the 6 places men love to finish on you. But don't worry, we're keeping it classy, cheeky, and 100% ad friendly. Because this isn't just about what happens in that final moment. It's about turning the end into the part he can't stop replaying in his mind. And trust me, once you know these spots, you'll see exactly why they matter so much. When it comes to that final moment, the stomach finish has been a long-time favorite for many men, and for good reason. On the surface, it might seem simple, but in reality, it's layered with psychology, visuals, and connection that go way beyond the obvious. First, let's talk about the visual. Men are incredibly stimulated by sight, and this particular ending gives them a full, uninterrupted view of you in that moment. He's not just experiencing pleasure, he's watching it unfold. He gets to take in your curves, your skin, the way you breathe, the little movements you make. It's like a mental snapshot that gets burned into his memory. That image isn't just something he sees, it's something he replays in his mind when he thinks about you later, maybe when you're not even in the room. But the stomach finish also carries an element of intimacy. Unlike spots that feel more playful or teasing, this one is right in the center of your body, a place that feels personal. It's close enough to your heart, your core, to make it feel connected, but also far enough to still have that visual distance that fuels desire. For him, it's like being in that sweet spot between passion and admiration. Now, here's where you can take it from something he enjoys to something he craves. The magic happens in how you react in that moment. If you keep your eyes on him while it happens, you amplify the intensity instantly. That steady gaze tells him you're present with him, you're enjoying the moment, and you're letting him see you in a way that feels open and confident. For many men, that combination is intoxicating. You can also add small touches that heighten the emotional charge, a soft smile, a slow stroke along his arm or side, even just relaxing into the moment without rushing to cover up afterwards. All of these send the message that you're comfortable, that you own your sensuality, and that you're letting him into an intimate space without shame or hesitation. And here's a little secret. For some men, the stomach finish is tied to a deeper instinct, desire to mark a moment. It's not about possession in a negative way. It's about making the memory feel like yours. In his mind, that ending becomes a scene only the two of you share, one that feels like a private little secret every time it happens. So while it may not be the most adventurous or exotic spot, don't underestimate the stomach finish. It's classic for a reason. It's visual, it's intimate, and when done with connection, it's unforgettable. And the best part, you have complete control over making it not just another ending, but the one he'll keep coming back to in his mind over and over again. The back finish is one of those endings that carries an entirely different energy from the rest. Where the stomach finish is visual and open, the back finish feels raw, protective, and deeply primal. And for many men, combination hits in a way they don't even fully understand. Think about it. When he finishes on your back, it's often after a moment that's been full of movement, closeness, and intensity. You're right there in front of him, your body's still warm from everything that's just happened, and he gets this final moment that feels like an exclamation point to all of it. It's a release that comes with a sense of dominance, but also a surprising sense of care, because even though he's behind you, he's still with you. For a lot of men, this spot is tied to the feeling of being in control. yet completely lost in the moment. There's a thrill to watching the curves of your back, the lines of your shoulders, the subtle movements you make as you breathe. It's an angle that gives him a view he doesn't get in everyday life. And in that heightened moment, that view becomes intoxicating. The psychology here is fascinating. When a man finishes on your back, there's often a feeling of closeness without needing to be face to face. This doesn't make it less intimate. In fact, for some men, it makes it more so because it feels almost private, like a memory tucked away behind closed doors. It's a moment where he can pour out all of that built up energy in a way that feels powerful but also connected. Now, here's where you can turn this into something unforgettable for him. The way you respond to the back finish can make or break how memorable it is. If you simply stay present in the moment, maybe leaning into him slightly, maybe arching just enough for him to feel that you're still in sync, you give him that silent green light that says, I'm right here with you. That's a feeling that sticks. And if you really want to elevate it, you can add a subtle move at the end, turning your head just enough to catch his eye, giving him that half smile that says you know exactly what just happened and you liked it. That's when you take a spot that's already a favorite and turn it into something he craves. It's worth noting that for many men, the back finish also comes with a sensory memory. The texture of your skin, the warmth, even the faint scent of your hair. All of these details get imprinted in his mind right alongside the physical rush. The next time he sees your back in any context, that memory is going to flash through his mind. So while it might seem like just another place to finish for him, it's often so much more. It's primal, it's intimate, and with the right energy, it becomes the kind of ending he can't get out of his head. The chest finish is bold, intimate, and charged with a certain confidence that not every spot carries. For many men, it's not just about the physical sensation, it's about the emotional impact and the visual statement it makes. This is the kind of ending that feels both close and thrilling at the same time, and when done right, it can be one of the most addictive finishes for him. Why is it so powerful? For one, it's deeply visual. The chest is front and center, a place he can see clearly, connect with directly, and remember vividly. It's personal yet open. It's an ending that demands attention because it happens right where you can feel each other's energy most strongly. He's looking at you, you're looking at him, and there's no question about the connection you're sharing in that moment. For a lot of men, the chest finish also carries a subconscious sense of closeness. It's literally near your heart, and whether he realizes it or not, that proximity can make the moment feel warmer, more personal. It's not distant or detached. It's right there in a space that feels like yours. That closeness creates a sense of trust, even in a moment of raw passion. But here's where you can make this spot unforgettable. It's all about your reaction. If you embrace it with confidence rather than shyness, you instantly turn it from something he likes into something he can't stop thinking about. A slow smile, a little bite of your lip, maybe even running your fingers through his hair or along his neck as it happens. These little touches can send his brain into overdrive. You see, for many men, chest finish isn't just physical, it's a declaration. It's like saying, this is our moment. This is where I want to be when it all ends. And when you respond in a way that shows you're not only okay with it, but enjoying it, you flip a switch in his mind. Suddenly, it's not just a spot, it's the spot. Another layer to this is the memory factor. Because it's so visual and so close to your face, he associates the finish not just with the sensation, but with you. Your expression, your eyes, your smile, they all get burned into that moment. Every time he thinks back on it, it's not just the act he remembers, it's the way you looked at him when it happened. And here's the best part, the chest finish is versatile. It can be playful, it can be passionate, it can even be deeply romantic depending on the energy between you at the time. That means you can use it to match the mood you want to create, and in doing so, you keep it from ever feeling routine. So if you want a finish that feels bold, intimate, and unforgettable all at once, the chest finish is a winner. And when you own it with confidence and connection, you turn it into a memory that lingers far longer than the moment itself. The thigh finish is one of the most underrated endings, but once a man experiences it, it often becomes one of his quiet favorites. Why? Because it's the perfect mix of closeness, teasing, and sensory overload. It's not as direct as other spots, and that's exactly what makes it so thrilling. It's the art of being almost there while still giving him a rush that feels unique every time. First, let's talk about proximity. When he finishes on your thighs, There's this delicious balance between intimacy and restraint. He's close enough to feel your warmth, close enough to take in every detail of your body in that moment, yet there's a sense of artistry to where it lands. It's not the obvious choice, which makes it feel intentional, even a little creative. For men, this kind of ending taps into the psychology of anticipation, because the thighs are such a sensual area, soft, strong, and often associated with attraction. The release there becomes more than physical. It's suggestive. It's an almost but not quite moment that lingers in his mind because it feels just a little bit different from what he's used to. The visual side of this can't be overstated either. Your thighs frame the center of his desire, so when the finish happens there, it draws his eyes exactly where his mind already is. That frame, combined with the smoothness of your skin, makes it a memory that's both erotic and elegant. Now, here's how you can make it unforgettable. The key is in your body language. If you subtly shift, drawing your thighs together just enough to let him see them in full shape, you give him a visual he won't forget. Or if you keep them slightly apart, relaxed, you project openness and comfort, which in turn makes him feel more connected and free in the moment. The after moment is just as important. When you look at him with that playful, I know exactly what I'm doing expression, you lock in the memory. If you lightly touch his hand or leg as he catches his breath, you give him both the visual and the emotional closure he craves. It's these little details that take a good finish and make it unforgettable. For some men, the thigh finish also has a subconscious appeal. It feels slightly forbidden. It's intimate, but not the main area. So it carries that thrill of being a little unexpected. That unpredictability adds a layer of excitement because it's not just routine. It's something that feels chosen in the heat of the moment. So while the thigh finish might not get talked about as much as other spots, its power lies in the fact that it's not the obvious choice. It's sensual, visual, and deeply personal. And when you embrace it with confidence and a touch of playful mystery, you turn it into a scene he'll replay in his mind long after the moment's over. The hip or lower stomach finish is one of those endings that men often love but don't always put into words. It's sensual, personal, and carries a unique visual that sticks in his mind long after the moment is over. This isn't just about release. It's about the view, the closeness, and the feeling of connection that comes with it. For starters, the lower stomach and hip area is a beautiful, natural focal point. It's where curves meet lines, softness meets strength. When a man finishes there, it gives him a front row seat to one of the most attractive parts of your body, a place that draws his eyes naturally, even outside of the bedroom. In that final moment, he gets to appreciate it up close in a way that feels intimate and deliberate. There's also something very personal about this finish. Unlike a more distant or playful spot, the hip and lower stomach are close to your core, and for many men, that proximity adds emotional weight to the experience. It's not quite the center, but it's close enough to feel like part of your most intimate space. That makes it both thrilling and deeply satisfying. The visual element here is powerful. Men are wired to respond to imagery, and the hip area provides a unique frame for that final release. The contrast between the movement of his body and the stillness of that smooth skin can be hypnotic. The light, the shadows, the way your body curves, all of it combines to create a scene he'll replay in his head over and over. Now, if you want to take this finish from likes it to can't stop thinking about it, it's all about the moment you create around it. You could tilt your hips slightly toward him, making the space feel like it's his to enjoy. You could let your hand rest on his shoulder or the back of his neck, grounding him in the connection you share. Little touches like this make him feel like the moment is more than just physical. It's something the two of you are creating together. And don't underestimate the after effect. When you hold his gaze right after with a relaxed, confident expression, you're telling him without words that you own that moment. That self-assurance is magnetic, and it makes him want to give you that same ending again and again. For some men, the hip or lower stomach finish also has a subtle claiming element to it. It's a spot that's both visually stunning and emotionally significant, a reminder of the closeness you shared. It becomes your thing, a place he associates uniquely with you. In the end, the hip or lower stomach finish is about more than the act itself. It's about blending visual beauty, physical closeness, and emotional intimacy into one perfectly timed finale. And when you do that, you don't just give him a release, you give him a memory he'll never want to let go of. Now, if you really want to get into the territory that makes his memory of that moment live rent free in his head for weeks, we have to talk about the secret spot. And no, I'm not talking about some hidden code you need to crack or a place on the map only he knows. I'm talking about that finished location that isn't obvious, isn't standard, and feels like it belongs to just the two of you. The reason this one works so well is because it's personal. It's not about following the usual script. It's about creating something that feels spontaneous, unplanned, and almost like your private little secret. This could be somewhere on your body that's not traditionally the finish line, but the way you respond to it, the way you own it, turns it into something incredibly intimate. You're saying to him without a single word, I'm comfortable, I'm confident, and I'm here for this moment with you. What makes the secret spot so powerful is that it creates a sense of novelty. Novelty is one of the biggest drivers of passion. It keeps the spark alive because the brain loves new experiences. Even something small and playful can make the experience feel elevated. The key here is not to overthink it. The magic comes from the fact that it doesn't happen every time. It's rare, it's surprising, and because it's not repeated over and over, he sees it as special, almost like a VIP pass that he gets once in a while. And here's where you have the real power you control when it happens. The element of unpredictability not only keeps him on his toes, but it also gives you the ability to build anticipation. One little playful whisper, one mischievous smile, and suddenly he's counting down the seconds until the moment arrives. At the end of the day, what makes these moves so irresistible isn't just the technique, it's the meaning behind them. It's that you're being intentional, playful, and willing to step outside the predictable. You're showing him that intimacy with you is never a